Good day, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ifoma Rejoice, and I'll be doing a book review on As A Man Thinketh by James Allen. So the book started with the author quoting Proverbs 23, verse 7. He went on to pass the message by saying that every action is as a result of our thoughts, as our character is a complete sum of what goes up in our minds. How we end up, our lifestyle, is a reflection of our daily thoughts, whether good or bad. For if a man dwells in positive thoughts, he would enjoy joy and blossom, but if his thoughts are filled with only the negatives, he would end up in pain and suffering. The author went ahead to make reference to a godlike character, stating that each character doesn't come by favor, but by discipline through continuous effort and right thinking. We have in us the capacity to make and unmake ourselves, transform and break ourselves, but the outcome of this capacity is determined by how well we use the weapon of our mind into working towards the future we dream of. Situations and circumstances vary from person to person, as it is all based on perspective. We just have to channel the energy of our thoughts towards the positive. We are the masters of thought and we hold the key to every situation, even in our weakest. It all falls back to how we govern our thoughts to reflect every situation. Likening our minds to that of gardens, he said, just as gardens, so are our minds. For if not tend to, would run wild. For if we do not cultivate our minds, would allow useless weed seeds grow. But if intelligently cultivated, would bring forth good fruits. For any seed allowed to lay foundation will certainly grow and reproduce its own kind. We are all where we are by the law of our being. Life doesn't operate by chance, but by a law which doesn't err. Every circumstance in our lives is there for us to learn a lesson, and such circumstance only passes away once the moral is learnt. We do not attract that which we want, but that which we are, for our inmost thoughts are fed by our own food, be it foul or clean. Alteration in circumstances is in same ratio as alteration in our mental condition. The soul attracts conditions which reveals itself, a reflection of its purity or impurity, strength and weakness. Our thoughts and actions can serve as jailers of fate and equally angels of freedom depending on the position they are put in or role made to play. Fighting against circumstances is when we try to change the external effects but not the internal dynamics driving those effects. It is neglecting to examine and transform our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that contribute to the problem. We tend to follow this cycle unconsciously, not knowing that it can lead to frustration and futility. Until action of the laws of thought are traced in our own mind and life, mere external forces cannot serve as a ground of reasoning. We begin to be mature adults when we stop whining and take responsibility for our lives rather than name others the cause of our condition. The author went on to explain the effect of our thoughts on health and body. He said, the physical state of a man is equally dependent on the thoughts. The body puts on an expression of the mind. Anxiety, fear, sickly thoughts, and other impure thoughts have a demoralizing effect on the body's physical outlook. The body responds influentially to our thoughts or mind. Clean thoughts of happiness and peace builds up grace and usefulness on the body, but thoughts of ill and envy robs the body of its health and grace and rather clothes it with disease. A change in diet wouldn't really do the job in providing a healthy body until there's a switch in our thoughts to beautiful things. We do not have to choke our mind with uncontentment, jealousy or envy, regret, pain, things from the past, fear, anxiety or cynicism and the likes. We shouldn't be stuck in our past because it hinders the present and growth. When we realize and finally let go of whatever may have hurt us in the past, we become happy, and a happy mind is a happy and vibrant body. Rather, we should open up the windows of our hearts and minds to admit in only serenity and goodwill. This is to say that the only things which are permitted to actually grow and harbor or stay or live rent-free in our minds, in our thoughts, are things of serenity, things of calmness, things of peace, and things of goodwill. No negative thoughts are allowed. For life to actually have meaning, there have to be a purpose attached. People who end up in failure, loss, indigence, indulgence, and the likes of others are those who have linked their thought with no purpose. We need to pick up a purpose, a legitimate goal which we would want to achieve and centralize it on our minds, making it the driving force of our thoughts. Without wandering off in distraction, we should make this purpose our duty and devote to its attainment. Until this goal is gotten, we have no reason to stop. In order to achieve this success, the elimination of doubt and fear is crucial, as putting a brave, bold, confident mind aids, builds, and strengthens our purpose. Just as Swami Vivekananda once said, and I quote, "Take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success." All we achieve and fail to achieve are as effects of our own thoughts. They are brought about by ourselves and can only be altered by ourselves, not by others. One can never help another if the other isn't having a spirit or mind to be helped. At this point, each individual has the first major role to play in personal change. For us to rise, conquer, and achieve, we must lift up our thoughts to a higher level. We must understand and be ready to make sacrifices because the higher the sacrifice, the higher the achievement. We have to enter a realm of self-control as all achievements are as of a result of definitely well-directed thoughts. For such achievements to be maintained, we need to be watchful and highly diligent. The world we live in today is a very beautiful place, and this is because of those who dared to dream. In a world where there are no dreamers, we all live as black and white. Dreamers are go-getters. They know that those who harbor lofty visions would surely discover it. The current position of a man doesn't matter. What matters is the vision they glorify. It doesn't matter the position a man has. It doesn't matter the title attached to their name. All every single individual wants to see and get from that man is the vision. It doesn't matter how great you are. If you do not have a vision, then you do not have a purpose. For one to achieve or accomplish goals, they have to set out for it. It doesn't take chance or fortune to achieve a goal. It takes having a vision of a better tomorrow, followed up by an ideal plan towards entering the reality of that vision. It's not all about having a vision or a dream. It's actually about taking realistic steps into seeing that those visions not just end up as visions, but they actually become a reality. They actually become something that people will say, "Oh yes, this is worth dying or paying for." He ended the book by saying that in all the hustle of life, the search for purpose and desire to become better, calmness and peace of the mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. We can only navigate the storms of life when we have the character of serenity. Also, relationship with people is affected by our temperament. One can either build or mar their life. The significance of money and power cannot be measured up to the heart of tranquility. The greatest way of knowing one who has attained the highest knowledge of self-control is if he has calmness of mind and heart, despite the circumstances that may come his way. Before I close this video, I would like to talk about the bonus book, which was added to the first book, and the title is From Poverty to Power by James Allen. So this book is divided into two parts. The first part talks about the path of prosperity. Evil should not be ignored, it should be understood. It is a result of ignorance, and if we are willing to learn its lesson, it will lead us to higher wisdom and afterwards disappear. The circumstances we may face or the turbulent times that may come our way shouldn't be something that we should ignore. Rather, there are lessons to be learned, and the moment we understand how it is actually navigated and we decide to learn its lessons, just will become wiser than we used to be, and just like that, those circumstances will disappear. The world is a reflection of our consciousness. Circumstances have no power to bless or harm. If they could, everyone would be treated equally. Your perspective of the world is projected by what you give to it. So, therefore, it is in our right to think positive things and to give out to the world things of joy and peace. No condition is more supreme than the law of cause and effect. Do not aim at prosperity, but instead aim at self-perfection, because become a one cannot do great things without being great themselves. So for you to actually achieve those great heights you want to achieve, you have to first of all make sure that you are perfect in self. The most powerful forces in the universe are the silent forces. These forces become beneficiary when rightly implemented and destructive when wrongly used. There comes some certain situations where you face some certain events, or there may be certain circumstances or problems or events that we may face, and sometimes in these situations the best answer to give is silence. To dwell continuously in good thoughts is to throw around oneself a psychic atmosphere of sweetness and power. True health and success are intertwined. Do not let anything drag you aside. Remember that a double-minded man is a man unstable in his ways. So therefore, we must attain a realm of calmness, and we must continuously flow in an atmosphere of power whereby we gain control of our circumstances. Selfishness is the cause of unhappiness. A selfish man is never happy. The secret of abounding happiness is to lose yourself completely in the welfare of others.